Hello, well, I'm showing off my game Empirezcraft today. Here's what it looked like by the end of the week. This week, you know, you can't click on this chest, but you can chop down the trees, chop down the trees, chop down the trees, chop down the trees, chop down the trees. And there you go. You can chop down trees, you can jump around. You know, we have a pretty nice player model, but it took me a decent amount of time to get here. You know, like a week to get this, which is a decent amount of progress for me. I really like it. It's enough progress to keep me happy. So what did we do during this week? Well, I'm here to explain that. I don't really know how, but I'm going to explain it. So I'm going to make a new scene, edit this out. So I started off this week like this. And then what I did is I created 2 cubes. I created 1 cube and then I copied that cube. So then I made a quick color preset called grass, dragged it onto the 2 cubes, made sure it's on both of them. So then cube 1, I extended it to like a certain amount, and then I don't exactly know what amount, but something maybe like 10 by 10. That's tall. I didn't change anything on the height. Then with cube 1, I would have made it maybe, I think, 11 by 11. So then I dragged it down a bit so it looked like a multi-layered island. We didn't have the main camera light, so then I made sure I decreased this value a bit and dragged it further up. And there we go, it looked perfect. Then I decided to add on a player, which was really, really big. So then I started scaling him down a bit. And after scaling down the player a bit, the player didn't look good, so I scaled him down some more. And yeah, more scaling down of the player. So boom, now we add the player. So then I decided I needed to make a cool color skin. And now the lighting is really weird on this scene, because this is not the lighting I had. I had completely different lighting on my scene. I don't know why the lighting is different. We have a directional light. Does moving it fix it? No. Yes, there we go. He is not light at all. Boom, there we go. 2 directional lights. That fixes it. Okay, so now we add our player dude. So then on the player dude, I added a player movement script. And then with him, I added a character controller. Then I dragged it on here, and then I made 2 checks. I created an empty object. I called it checks. And then I under that empty object created another empty object, pasted it, named both of them ground check, and I then made sure this, and then I named one of them water check. And then I went back on the player. I dragged in ground check and I dragged in water check. So then I made sure the ground mask was for the layer ground, which didn't exist, I then realized. So I took both of my cubes, went on layers, add layer, and layer ground, and I'm also going to add in water for layer. And then we went back to this dude, and I made it for ground, and I made water. So you can't actually swim yet, but basically, if we go back now to both of our cubes, we gotta make sure they're on layer ground, and then the player should be able to walk. You still can't walk him for some reason, and the camera needed to be dragged down under him. The camera needed a follow player script. I removed an offset. I don't know why I used the offset, but then we drag in our player. So I don't know why our player movement script isn't working. I don't know why. Probably because our character controller's messed up. But I dragged the main camera, and it should follow my player dude now. So we now have a camera. So we don't have a moving body. So now I wanted to edit my character controller, which was nowhere nearby. I couldn't find it. I didn't know where it was. I pasted the default in, and then I deleted this one, and then realized that wasn't going to work, so I made a new empty, called it the player. I dragged in all this, dragged it down under this player, and deleted my old dude. I don't know why. Then I added a follow player script. I added the player into the follow player script, and then realized that was in the wrong place, so we need to add it to the main camera. We added a follow player, which was already there, so I added in that. Then I remembered the follow the player thing. We gotta change it, so I dragged this out, dragged this dude, and moved this to around near his head. And then I can change the rest with offset. And then I dragged everything back under there. And the checks back under the object checks. So that was done. And then, still isn't walking. So I added a character controller. And then then I looked and figured out it's completely misplaced and started alignment. And, yeah, I didn't get it that good, but, 4, maybe moving it over this way would help, and then changing it to a 0.3, and changing on the Y, and seeing that looked somewhat okay. And we still didn't have a follow player script, player movement script. So once we added a player movement script, I dragged in my character controller, I grabbed both of my checks, ground, and then faced more things like this. Dragged in the ground check, dragged in the water checked, set the ground masked nothing to see maybe that's what was breaking it before. And I can move now. I mean, we can't jump for some reason, but I don't know why we can't jump. But we can move. We have movement. So then I decided to start setting up a tray. How did I set up the tray? Well, you see, I went inside a free tree asset that I downloaded. Prefabs, oak tray. Then I, just dragged the oak tree over somewhat. I added a break tree script. And then I went in assets, and I went in prefabs, and I went in trees. I went over to my oak tree, and then I added in the asset break tree of oak tree. And then on oak tree, I made sure it has these assets for those, which I've already created this script before, and then I hit play. And realized, yeah, with my mouse, we can click on it. But what happens when our mouse goes down? Nothing. And then I decided I needed and then I also decided I needed a new player model because this dude is complete trash. So we went to assets. I found this player dude, so I just, dragged him up on here. Found he was in a completely wrong place, so I just, reset the transform. Saw he was really big, and so set him to like 0.1. By 0.1, by 0.1. Actually, I created this player asset myself, so I didn't actually have to move him around. So this player came, I added something in. So yeah. Then I just, took all this stuff, pasted it, and pasted it under there. Made sure it was under there. And then I deleted this dude. Deleted our main camera. And then I made sure this camera, it has a follow player, so I decided to drag player body and the player transform. Display camera, this camera's enabled, and we hit play. And we're back in this crappy body. Why are we still there? I don't know. Let's just go in on this camera. So, Yeah, let's delete this dude. We don't need default. Default looks crap. Player should, the body and this stuff, the checks and all of them. Actually, no, we just need the body, which contains all the arms and stuff. And dragging him down and giving him a rigid body just so he can fall, because a rigid body is the best way to figure out stuff. So after you figured that out, something isn't right here. I don't know why, so I made sure it was kinematic. Maybe that would fix it? Yes. I don't know why I still can't break the tree, though. Then I figured out I also needed a collider for the tray. So I went on oak tray, and then I added a collider, a box collider. And then I figured that's good, just for this demonstration. This is just a demonstration of exactly whatever I did. And now I can break it. And it creates a weird oak tree clone with no known position. Yeah. I'm going to drag my scene view away. So when you break this, and we go into scene view, it creates it up here because it's not going to be in the right position. So I'm moving around a bit. You know, you just kind of do this stuff when you're in prefab mode, and boom. That looked cool, so I Control C, and then I stopped the game. And then I just saw that it was good, so then I just pasted it on, rearranged it maybe a bit, so it was, you know, kind of in, like, the exact place, and the scale was a bit off, but whatever. Make that our oak tray, and then we deleted it up here, went down to here, and made it so it creates this. And then we did a bit of a boom, and then a boom, and then it creates a few logs, which you can just see floating up there. But that's another story for another day. So now that we have the logs done, I decided to create a pickup log thing, which failed epically, so I'm not going to demonstrate that here. But boom, now we had a player done. We had a very we had a player thing. And, I mean, after that, the game is basically where it is today. I built a chest prefab, but it doesn't have anything with it. And yeah, game view. Look at this. I know it's beautiful. Boom, boom, boom. And it created some trees. We still can't jump for some reason. Actually, yeah, we can't. No, we can't. We can't jump. I don't know why we couldn't jump. I never fixed this error in this demonstration. So that's basically a quick demonstration of what I did this week. I did it in a demonstration form because, kind of forgot to record most of it. Just kind of crappy. But next week, I'll actually have it done while I'm doing it. Actually, no, I like this. This is just kind of a demonstration, a quick throwing together of what I've done. Just using the old scripts I used. This is the way I'm going to set up my devlogs. So, first off, another thing I should have done is taken the checks. Just going to fix this because I'm trying to do everything the way I need to do it. Taking the player script. Taken player, moved it to his body. And I then figure out it's because of a broken controller. Don't you love when controllers are broken? Because I love them. So I set it to like a good old 1. And that should have been about his height. Boom, drag. Okay, player thing now. Oh yeah, and then drag the Y value down. Players off Cuckoo Land. Yeah, whatever, I hoped that helped. Then I broke a few things, dragged everything back. But yeah, that's been this week. Goodbye.